The rope burned his gloves as the water ripped sideways. "Lock your arm," he shouted. Her fingers slipped against his sleeve, eyes wide and glassy. Behind him the K9 planted on the curb and snarled at the river like it could be bullied back. "Don't let me go," she whispered, lips blue. A dumpster banged off the streetlight and spun past. The soldier dropped his center, felt the current trying to fold him. One more surge and she'd be gone under the porch rail for good. He took the breath he had left. On my count, 3, 2. The first time her fingers slid, he felt it through the leather, soft skin, no strength left, water turning every touch to failure. "Lock your elbow," he yelled, voice fighting the hiss and hammer of the flood. Her head bobbed once above the rail. Brown water slapped her mouth. "Don't let me go," she breathed, like a prayer too tired to climb out of her. The soldier dropped his hips until the current hit his thighs instead of his chest. It still tried to fold him sideways, but he'd been in enough rivers to know the angle mattered. He set his boots against the broken edge of the porch step, found one sliver of concrete that didn't move, and leaned into it. The throwback line sang against the street sign he'd anchored 30 seconds ago, carabiner squealing as it took both their weight. "Ranger, stay," he barked over his shoulder. The German shepherd answered with a low, continuous snarl that vibrated in the flooded curb. He stood braced on the lip of a storm drain, paws splayed, leash clipped to the handrail that still had a bolt in it. Every time the current shoved the man, Ranger leaned with him, as if body weight alone could hold this line together. "Look at me," the soldier said, locking eyes with the woman. She was maybe late 20s, hair plastered to her cheeks, a cut over one brow washing pink into the brown water. Her left arm was trapped between porch baluster and mailbox that had wedged sideways, every surge pinned her harder. The right hand was his. "Name," he shouted. She shook her head, eyes unfocusing, the shiver in her jaw turning into a clack. Hypothermia was writing its way up her body, letter by letter. "Okay, listen," he said, steady, like he had all the time in the world. "I'm not letting go. I'm going to pop that mailbox, you'll feel a bump, then we pivot you into the eddy behind me. You keep your arm through the rope, don't fight the current, let me move you." Her lips trembled. Water slapped her teeth. "Don't, let me." "I won't." He slid his upstream hand down the rope and took a wrap, one turn, then another, feeling the friction bite into the glove. With the other he reached for the mailbox jammed across the balusters. It had trapped against the post like a crude strainer. He hated strainers. Water passed, people didn't. He braced, counted the surge, 1, 2, 3, and on the drawdown he ripped upward with a grunt. The box shifted, swung, and the next surge tried to shove it straight into his chest. He took it on his shoulder, let the water ride it past, then shoved it free with a twist that would make his rotator cuff hate him tomorrow. "Now," he barked. She slid, gasping, the trapped arm coming free. For a heartbeat she was weightless in the boil. Then Oliver hit his rope hand at once and the line drew screaming tight. He let it run a half hand to save the shoulder, then locked the wrap and sat into the harness he'd jury-rigged from his belt. Ranger barked fury, feet scrabbling on wet concrete as he leaned against the leash like a second anchor. "Turn your hips," he shouted. "Let the current swing you." She tried. The water spun her half around and slammed her into him belly to belly. The impact knocked the breath from both. He caught the back of her jacket, found the loop at the collar, and fed the rescue carabiner through in one blind stab. "Got you," he said into her ear. "You're on." She sobbed once, more air than sound. "Don't." "I won't." A refrigerator carcass bumped the porch post upstream and bounced off in a spray. He tucked her under his chest, making his back the shield. Debris clipped his helmet and rang like a bell. "Ranger, back." The dog obeyed by inches, giving the rope a cleaner line to the signpost. The carabiner squealed again, steel on steel. The entire street was water now, parked cars humped like drowned animals, a stop sign ticking under each surge, a child's bike pinwheeling past in a burst of foam. He felt her shaking through the jacket, small, violent shivers that said the clock was already too far gone. Time wasn't measured in minutes out here. It was measured in grip. "Can you feel your legs?" he asked, checking her pupils with his headlamp. They reacted, but slow. "They're heavy." Her teeth chattered around the word. "That's the cold lying to you. We're going to the porch steps, then the truck. You'll get heat packs and a blanket. You just have to hold my sleeve until I say now." He pushed the carabiner along the rope toward the house, inching them closer to the eddy where the porch made a curl out of the main flow. Each inch was a negotiation with the river. He kept talking because people stayed with voices. "What's at this address? Anyone else inside?" She coughed, gagging river. He turned her head and smacked her shoulder blade once, clearing it. "My grandma, she left when they knocked," another cough. "I came back for the photo box, stupid, Not stupid. Just human." He gave the rope another push and the eddy took some of their load. His calves shook with the effort of holding an angle that wasn't designed for people. A dumpster scraped the curb and spun toward them. "Heads," he barked. He dropped over her and let it kiss his backplate as it careened by. The impact jolted his teeth. "We're okay. Stay with me." Her fingers flexed on his sleeve and slipped, just a fraction, but enough to freeze his blood. He grabbed her wrist. "Don't let me go," she whispered, as if the words themselves kept her tethered. He squeezed until he felt bone under skin. "I won't." Ranger's bark cut short to a growl again, ears forward. The dog wasn't looking at the water now, he was looking downstream. The soldier risked a glance. The pickup he'd used as a secondary anchor had shifted 2 feet and was crabbing toward them, nose first, tires lifting. The strap from its tow hook went slack, then twanged tight in the next surge. If the truck broke free, it would take the signpost, the rope, and them with it. "Change of plan," he said. He felt the tremor in his own voice and ironed it flat. "We're moving now." He walked his hands down the rope, pulling them together into the eddy one breath at a time. The porch step lurched under his boots and held. He planted her on the top riser, water up to his knees, and crowded his body between her and everything else that wanted her. "Hands on the rail," he ordered. "Squeeze." She obeyed, clumsy, fingers white. He unclipped, flipped the carabiner to his own harness, and threw 2 wraps of rope around the rail post. The pickup groaned again, tires finally losing. The rope line jerked, the sign shrieked. "Ranger," he snapped, pointing with a jerk of his chin. The dog launched along the curb to the higher stoop, leapt, and planted on the porch beside them, paws squeaking on wet wood. He pressed his shoulder against the soldier's thigh as if to say, "Here." "Okay," he told the flood, the dog, the woman, and whatever else was listening. "We climb on 3. He looked at her, really looked, the jaw chatter, the 1,000-yard stare that cold brings, the way she couldn't stop saying the only sentence she had left. "Don't let me go." He nodded once. "I won't." 3, 2. The pickup's tow strap snapped like a rifle shot. 1. He hauled her up and over the rail as the truck tore the signpost out by its roots and the rope went suddenly dead in his hands, whipping away into the street. For a heartbeat they were 3 bodies on a slick porch with nothing tying them to anything but their feet and each other. The flood took the sign, the strap, the rope, and crashed them down the block. But it did not take his grip. He had her. He kept her. And Ranger, teeth bared at the river inches below the decking, held the line the only way a dog could, by refusing to give an inch to anything that wanted his people. The porch boards groaned under their combined weight, every surge slapping higher against the decking. The woman collapsed to her knees, foil blanket half dragging, breath sawing in and out like each one was borrowed. The soldier crouched beside her, fingers at her neck. Pulse, thready, too fast. He pressed the back of his glove to her cheek. Cold. Skin waxy. Stage 1 hypothermia tipping into Stage 2. Time was slipping. Stay upright, he ordered, firm but low. He tilted her chin up, forcing eye contact. Look at me. You're not done. Her lips trembled. CC cold. I know. Ranger, guard. The shepherd instantly planted himself at the stair gap, hackles bristled, eyes locked on the water below. His growl was constant, as if daring the flood to climb higher. The soldier scanned fast. Porch steps, gone, torn out by the current. Side yard, flooded hip-deep, not survivable with her in this state. Window above porch, half open, shutters banging in the wind. That was their out. All right, he muttered, pulling rope from his pack. He tied a quick figure-8 knot, clipped it to her belt loop, and tested the pull. You're climbing. Her head shook weakly. I see can't. Yes, you can. I'll haul. Ranger covers. You just keep your hands moving. Another surge smacked the porch, spraying over their boots. The boards groaned louder, nails squealing in their sockets. Time shrank. He boosted her to standing, shoved her hands against the siding. Up. Now. She pawed clumsily at the wall, fingers slipping on wet paint. He steadied her hips, guided her hand to the sill. That's it. Grip. Pull. Her arm shook like it carried 50 pounds instead of 5. She hauled once, nearly slipped back. Don't look down, he barked. One more. Her whisper cracked through the rain. Don't let me. I'm here. His voice cut sharp. I've got the rope. You just climb. Ranger erupted in a bark, spinning at the flood line. Debris smashed against the porch support, shopping cart, plastic bins, a branch cluster. The dog lunged, teeth snapping at the spray, as if he could fight back wood and water with rage alone. The soldier hauled the rope, lifting her another foot. She tumbled belly first over the sill, gasping, clawing until she was half inside. He shoved from below until her shoulders cleared. Go! Crawl through. She vanished inside with a sob. He clipped the rope to his own harness next, planted a boot on the rail, and scrambled up. Water slapped his calf mid-swing, nearly yanking him sideways. He gritted his teeth and heaved, catching the sill with his forearm. Ranger barked wild below, leash rattling against the porch post. Up, boy, the soldier snapped, reaching down. The shepherd leapt, claws scraping siding. The soldier caught his harness handle and dragged with one arm until 40 kilos of soaked muscle scrambled over the sill and landed in the dark room inside. The soldier rolled after, collapsing onto wet carpet. His chest heaved, helmet dripping. He ripped his gloves off, hands raw from rope burn. The woman lay shivering by the wall, eyes glassy. He dropped beside her, ripped 2 chemical heat packs from his kit, cracked them, and shoved them into her armpits. This will burn. That's good. She whimpered, but her chest rose faster after a minute, breath less shallow. Ranger shook once, spraying the walls, then planted himself at the window, nose twitching, growl restarting low. He watched the flood like it was an enemy soldier circling. The soldier pulled his radio, thumb transmit. Rescue 1, do you copy? Victim secured, 2nd floor, porch compromised, flood still rising. I need evac marker. Only static answered. The repeater was drowned. He exhaled hard, eyes cutting to the window. Outside, the porch was already gone, ripped free, swirling away like it had never existed. They were 2 stories up, with water still climbing. He looked back at her, pale lips moving around the same words like a mantra. "Don't let me go." He pressed his hand over hers, grounding her. "You're not going anywhere. We hold till dawn if we have to." Ranger's bark detonated again, louder this time, aimed not at the water, but at the dark street beyond, as though something more than the flood was moving out there. The soldier's gut tightened. This night wasn't just about water anymore. The carpet squelched under his knees as he worked, stripping his own wet jacket to wrap tighter around her foil blanket. Every layer mattered. Heat packs hissed faintly where he'd wedged them into her armpits and along her ribs. Her eyes flickered half open, pupils sluggish but responsive. He tapped her cheek lightly. "Stay awake. Talk to me. What's your name?" Her lips trembled. "Lily." "All right, Lily. Good. You're gonna make it through this. You hear me?" She nodded weakly, chin rattling. "Don't, let me go." He squeezed her hand once, firm. "I won't." Ranger paced near the window, nails clicking on warped boards. His ears twitched with every sound outside, the groan of houses shifting in their foundations, debris knocking against drowned cars, the endless hiss of water pushing higher. The soldier fished his small thermos from his pack, unscrewed the top, and pressed it to Lily's lips. "Sip. Slow." She coughed after the first swallow, then took a second, tiny and trembling. Color crept faintly back into her cheeks. He allowed himself one breath of relief. "Good. Still time." Then Ranger's low growl filled the room. The soldier's head snapped up. The shepherd was rigid at the window, nose pressed into the cracked sill, teeth bared but silent. This wasn't the angry bark at debris. This was different. Lower. Focused. The soldier crawled to the window, careful not to spook Lily. He switched off his headlamp and let his eyes adjust. The street outside was a river now, brown water carrying trash, siding panels, even a half-submerged car that groaned as it turned. "Show me," he whispered. Ranger's tail froze, ears locked forward. His nose tracked something mid-channel, 20 yards out. The soldier squinted. For a moment he thought it was just more debris, a dark mass swirling in the current. But then it shifted against the flow. Not with it. It bobbed once, then steadied, like someone treading water. The soldier's stomach dropped. "Hello," he shouted through cupped hands. "Hold position. I'll get a line out." The mass didn't answer. Didn't wave. Didn't drift closer. It just floated, half-submerged, face, or what he thought was a face, angled toward the house. Lily stirred weakly behind him. "Who?" He turned, voice flat. "Stay down." He pulled a glow stick from his vest, cracked it, and tossed it into the current. Green light bobbed out, spinning past the mass. For a moment the glow illuminated a pale shape, too pale, too still. The soldier's jaw locked. If it was a person, they weren't alive. If it wasn't, he didn't finish the thought. Ranger's bark exploded, savage, teeth slamming against the sill as if he wanted to leap into the flood. His body shook with fury. "Back," the soldier snapped. But even as he said it, his own skin prickled. Because the shape shifted again, angled into the current, and began to drift, not downstream, but sideways. Toward the house. "Negative," he muttered. "Not happening." He yanked the shutters closed with a slam, bolted them as best he could with a broken chair wedged against the frame. The room fell darker, lit only by the faint glow of his headlamp on low mode. Lily whimpered. "What is it?" He crouched by her again, steadying her shoulders. "Doesn't matter. Focus on me. Stay awake." But Ranger didn't come. The shepherd pressed against the shutter, body stiff, growl rolling without pause. His eyes burned into the wood as though he could see through. The soldier set his rifle across his knees, scanning the room, mind racing. The flood was one enemy. Cold was another. But now, something in that water didn't fit. And his gut told him the night was just getting started. The shutters rattled against their weak latch as another surge slammed the house. The soldier pressed his palm to the wall, feeling the vibration run through soaked studs. The whole structure was groaning. Behind him, Lily shivered in her cocoon of foil and wet fabric. Her eyes opened halfway, pupils tracking him but slow. He pressed the back of his hand to her forehead, cold, clammy. Hypothermia's grip hadn't loosened yet. "Stay with me," he murmured. "You've got to keep talking." Her lips parted, words barely air. "D, don't let me go." He squeezed her hand once, firm, grounding. "Not happening. You hold me, I hold you. That's the deal." Ranger's growl had never really stopped. He prowled the shuttered window, nails clicking on warped boards, tail stiff like a steel rod. Every so often he lunged, teeth bared at the wood, as if the very presence outside was pressing against him. The soldier crouched by his pack, dragging out a flare. He held it in his hand for a long moment, thumb brushing the cap. A flare meant visibility, maybe rescue chopper eyes. But it also meant giving away their position, to anyone or anything in that water. He glanced at Ranger. The shepherd met his eyes, chest vibrating with that low thunder. "Not yet," the soldier muttered, sliding the flare back into the pack. "We wait." He moved back to Lily, tucking another chemical pack under her arms. She hissed at the heat, then sagged against the wall. "Listen, Lily. I need you to tell me something. Did anyone else stay in this house?" Her head moved side to side. "And no. Just me." "Then who?" he cut off. No point pressing. A hollow knock interrupted him. He froze, rifle swinging toward the window. The sound had come from outside, wood on wood, dull, deliberate. Not debris this time. Not random. Ranger exploded, barking so hard his chest rattled. He rammed his shoulder against the shutter, trying to break through. "Back," the soldier snapped. Ranger obeyed, but his eyes never left the boards, lips peeled, saliva stringing his teeth. The soldier edged forward, pressed his ear to the shutter. Rain hissed beyond. Water gurgled against siding. Then, faint, deliberate, another knock. 2 beats. Pause. Then 1. His stomach turned cold. A rhythm was an accident. Someone was out there. He risked one glance through the slat. The glow stick he'd tossed earlier spun lazy in the current, casting green arcs. And there, just at the edge of its light, something pale, almost face-like, turned upward toward him. Too far to see detail. Close enough to feel watched. He shut the slat fast, heart pounding. Lily stirred weakly. What is it?" "Nothing that matters," he lied, steady. He couldn't let her spiral. The water below banged again, this time against the stairwell door. It was climbing fast, first floor gone, second floor threatened. He scanned the ceiling joists. If the house didn't hold, the only way was up again, into the attic crawl. But the attic meant no exits, no roof hatch. If water reached that high, they'd be sealed in. Ranger snarled again, lunging at the shutter as another knock came. Harder this time. The soldier's jaw locked. He flicked his radio. Static. Nothing. He cursed under his breath. He looked at Lily, then at Ranger, then at the water pressing harder against the house. The decision hit him sharp, signal or silence. Stay hidden and hope rescue comes, or risk flaring out, knowing whatever was in that water was waiting for them to show. He dug the flare back out, thumb trembling over the cap. Ranger barked so hard the board shook. The soldier whispered low to himself, voice flat. "We can't stay here. and as if to prove him right, the stairwell door below burst, water exploding up into the floorboards, rattling the walls. They were running out of height. The flare spat to life with a hiss, red-orange light flooding the room in violent pulses. Shadows leapt across the soaked wallpaper, painting Ranger's teeth in fire. The soldier held it near the window crack, shielding Lily with his body. Smoke curled bitter. He angled it upward, hoping against the low ceiling and storm clouds that somewhere, someone would see. "Stay awake," he told Lily, steady, as if the flare's angry glow were just another routine signal. "You're not done yet. Keep your eyes open." Her lips parted. "S so bright." "That's the point." He pressed the flare closer to the slat. Outside, the flood answered with a roar. Water surged against siding, rattling shutters. Debris smashed into the house, planks, siding, a broken door. The glow painted the current blood red. And in that light, he saw it. The pale mass again. No longer at the edge of vision. Now closer. Almost under the porch remains. It bobbed once, slow, like someone fighting to surface. Ranger barked, savage and frantic, lunging at the shutter so hard the wedge chair screeched. His nails clawed the sill, body straining as if he'd launch himself straight into the water to tear it apart. The soldier's grip on the flare tightened. "Back!" Ranger froze, hackles high, chest still growling. The soldier leaned to the slat. The flare's glare spilled over water, and this time he was sure. A face. Not whole. Half submerged. Pale. Eyes dark holes. It floated, fixed toward the window. He staggered back one step, forcing his breath to steady. It's a body. Just a body. Nothing more. But bodies didn't fight the current. Bodies didn't hold position against flood surge. Lily stirred, voice cracking through her teeth. Who is it?" He knelt, firm hand on her shoulder. "Doesn't matter. Focus on me. You hear that flare? That's us being found." Her head lolled weakly. "Don't let me go." He brushed damp hair from her face, jaw tight. "Not going to." Then Ranger snapped again, this time not at the water. His nose jerked to the sidewall. Bark detonated, sharp, urgent. The soldier swung his rifle, scanning plaster that shook with each wave. A sharp crack split the wood. Outside, something had slammed into the siding, hard enough to bow it. He hissed through teeth. "House won't last." The flare spat sparks, burning down fast. He jammed it into a bucket to keep smoke from choking them. Darkness fell back heavy, save the low glow of his headlamp. Outside, thunder rolled. And with it, another knock. Deliberate. 2 beats. Pause. 1. The same rhythm. Closer now. Ranger roared, barking into the boards like he could break them. The soldier's skin prickled. He pressed his back to Lily's, rifle up. "We move up." "Attic." He swept the lamp across ceiling joists, found the hatch half hidden under a sagging beam. He slung rifle, grabbed the pull cord, and yanked. The hatch stuck, swollen by humidity. He jerked again, shoulder slamming. It gave with a crack, ladder unfolding half crooked. "Ranger, up." The dog launched instantly, claws scrabbling wood as he scrambled into the crawl. His nails clicked above. The soldier clipped rope around Lily's waist, knotted fast. He shoved her upward, guiding her hands. "Climb. Don't stop. I'm right here." Her voice broke on a whisper as she obeyed. "Don't let me." "Not letting. Keep going." Water burst up through floorboards, icy spray soaking his legs. The house groaned like a dying animal. He pushed her up until Ranger's teeth closed gently on her jacket, pulling. The shepherd hauled with every ounce of muscle, dragging her into the crawl. The soldier followed last, slamming the hatch just as another knock rattled the shutters below. They were in the attic now, dark, hot with trapped air, rain hammering shingles overhead. The flood gurgled closer below, filling what had been safe minutes ago. The soldier crouched low, Lily between his knees, Ranger pressed tight against them both. He whispered steady, though his own pulse hammered. "You're not going anywhere. I've got you. We ride this out." But the truth burned sharp in his chest, the water was still climbing. And whatever had been in it, was still out there. The attic was cramped, beams low enough to rake his helmet if he lifted too high. The smell of soaked insulation and mold pressed thick into every breath. Rain hammered shingles like drumfire. He hauled Lily against the wall where the roofline dipped least. Her skin was clammy, lips dusky. He slid another heat pack into her blanket wrap, pressed her hands over it. "Hold this. Don't drop it." Her head wobbled a nod. "Don't let." "I won't." Ranger circled once, then planted himself by the hatch, nose down, ears pricked. His chest heaved from exertion, but his eyes were fire, no hint of rest. The soldier crawled to the hatch. Water churned just inches below, bubbling through the seams. Every surge slapped against the wood, rattling it like a fist from underneath. He tested the rope latch, secure for now. But if the level rose any higher, the pressure would blow it. Damn. He sat back on his haunches, wiped rain from his face. We're out of height. He scanned the space. No roof hatch. Just one tiny gable window, half covered by warped shutters. If rescue didn't come fast, their only chance was breaking through. He checked Lily again. Her shivering was slowing, a bad sign, not good. He unzipped his vest, shoved it around her shoulders, cinched the straps. "Stay with me, Lily." Eyes open. Her lids fluttered. "Tired. Talk. Anything." Her voice cracked small, photo box. "Grandma's. Be below." "Forget it," he said sharply. "You live first. Memories come later." Ranger growled low, sudden. His head whipped toward the gable window. The soldier froze. His hand went to his rifle automatically. The dog's growl rose to a snarl, teeth flashing in the dark. He crept forward, pressing against the slanted boards, eyes burning into the gap where shutters flapped. The soldier edged closer. The flare's aftersmoke still stung the air, but his lamp beam cut the dark. He squinted through the slat. At first, only storm. Rain sweeping sideways, water below flashing silver. Then, movement. Something pale, rising slow against the window. Not debris. Not wood. Not foam. A face. Half submerged, pressed just outside the glass. Eyes dark voids, mouth slack, skin too smooth, too white in the lamp glow. The soldier's throat closed. His rifle snapped up. Ranger barked like a gunshot, throwing his body against the shutter so hard it nearly split. Spit sprayed his jaws as he roared into the storm. Lily stirred weakly, voice small. "Who's there?" The soldier backed one step, rifle aimed steady. "Nobody you need to know." The face didn't move. Didn't blink. Just floated, fixed on them. He hissed through his teeth. "Back off." The water surged again, rattling the hatch from below. Boards creaked. Nails screamed. The soldier's instincts split in two, defend the window, or secure the hatch. Ranger solved the choice. He lunged at the glass, barking so violently the frame rattled. For one breath, the pale face slipped under the waterline, vanishing into the dark flood. Silence followed, heavy as lead. The soldier's pulse hammered. He lowered the rifle an inch, listening. Only rain. Only water. He crouched by Lily again, hand pressing to her cheek. Still cold, still clammy. He whispered hard, "Stay awake. Don't leave me." Her cracked lips moved. "Don't let me go." He locked his jaw. "I won't. Ranger won't." Below, the hatch boomed as another surge slammed it. Water sprayed through the seams, misting the attic. Time was gone. The soldier's eyes cut to the gable window, the only way left. He muttered to himself, "Steady, final, we're going through the roof." The attic was a coffin now. Water thudded harder under the hatch, every surge bowing the boards, spraying mist through cracks. Each groan of timber told the same story, minutes left. The soldier dragged his small hatchet free from his pack. The blade was nicked from too many field jobs, but it would split pine if he swung true. "Ranger, watch." His voice was sharp, clipped. The shepherd pivoted to the window instantly, body locked like a spring, teeth bared. His growl rumbled through the beams. The soldier crawled to the steepest slope of roof, tested a beam, then swung. The hatchet cracked against soaked wood, splinters sprang into his face. Rain leaked through the wound instantly. Again, he muttered, and swung harder. The attic filled with thuds and the rhythm of survival, swing, splinter, rain. Behind him, Lily stirred weakly. Her whisper barely rode above the storm. "Don't let me." "I won't," he barked, voice cracking with the axe. He glanced back once. "Hold Ranger's collar. He won't leave you." She reached trembling fingers into the dog's fur. Ranger didn't break his stare from the window, but his body pressed against her like a wall. The soldier swung again. The board split wider. Cold rain spilled in, cutting through his gear, chilling his skin to the bone. He swung until his shoulders screamed. One more strike and light pushed through, a hole big enough to breathe sky. Then Ranger erupted. His bark shattered the attic, deafening in the tight beams. He lunged at the gable window so hard the shutter slammed against its rotten hinge. The soldier whipped around. And froze. The pale face was back. Pressed right against the glass now, as if it had floated straight into the pane. Features blurred by water, eyes blacker than flood. Its mouth gaped wide, unmoving, as if waiting to swallow the sound. Lily whimpered, clutching Ranger's fur. What is it?" The soldier's voice was low, iron. "Not your problem." He raised his rifle, sight snapping to the window. The face didn't flinch. Didn't move. Just hung there, weightless in the torrent. Ranger's fury reached a pitch. He slammed his whole chest against the sill, snarling so violently spittle painted the wood. The soldier's finger tightened on the trigger. He hesitated. A round meant shattered glass, open flood, compromised attic. He whispered instead, teeth clenched. "Back. Off." The face slipped under, gone in a rush of rain. Only storm remained. He lowered the rifle slowly, pulse hammering. Another surge boomed under the hatch. Water sprayed into the attic, pooling against his knees. The boards bowed hard. Enough. He turned back, hatchet raised, and smashed the roof until the hole gaped wide, rain blasting his face. He ripped at the edges with raw hands, widening it. Night sky stared back, black, raging, but air. He crawled back to Lily, scooped her under the arms. "We're going up. Ranger first, then you. Stay with me." Her cracked whisper came again. "Don't let me go." He pressed his forehead to hers for one sharp beat. "Not happening." "Ranger, up." The shepherd leapt, claws scrabbling until his head and shoulders cleared the roofline. He dragged himself through with raw strength, then spun, barking once into the storm like a war cry. The soldier shoved Lily upward next, guiding her trembling arms through the gap. She cried weakly, body limp. "See, can't." "Yes, you can." He jammed her feet against his thigh, boosting until her shoulders scraped shingles. Ranger lunged forward, teeth gripping her jacket collar, hauling. Together they dragged her through. The soldier was last. He slung his rifle, gripped the ragged hole, and heaved, water crashing against his legs from below. He kicked free and burst into the night air, rain sheeting across his visor. The roof was slick, tilted, unforgiving. He hauled Lily tight to his chest, braced against Ranger's weight at his side. The three of them crouched together, nothing between them and the flood but slanted shingles and a black sky. The house groaned under them, water punching windows out one by one. And as the soldier steadied Lily in his arms, he risked one glance back at the gable window below. The roof pitched steep under his boots, shingles slick as ice. The soldier crouched low, one arm wrapped around Lily, the other pressed into the ridge beam. Rain lashed sideways, needling through every gap in his gear. "Stay down," he barked over the storm, steadying her trembling body. She sagged against him, eyes half closed, breath shallow but present. Ranger crawled tight to their flank, nails scrabbling for grip. His ears were pinned back, hackles plastered by rain, but his eyes cut constant arcs across the black flood below. He barked once, savage, at the water, then crouched low again, body shaking with fury. The soldier scanned fast. The street below was gone, turned into a roaring channel. Other rooftops jutted like broken islands, some empty, some with silhouettes waving dim lights. But between them, the current was merciless, swallowing whole structures as he watched. "Rescue has to be coming," he muttered, as much to himself as to her. He pulled a flare, cracked it, and held it high. Red light cut through the storm, painting rain in blood streaks. He waved once, twice. Lily stirred, lips barely moving. So tired. He pressed his cheek to hers, voice iron. "Don't close your eyes. Don't. You talk to me or you fight me, but you don't sleep." Her cracked whisper brushed his jaw. "Don't let me go." He squeezed her tighter. "I won't. Not now, not ever." A groan rumbled deep below, the house itself, foundations grinding against flood. The roof shifted under them, shingles popping loose. "Hold on." He slammed his hand over the ridge, knuckles white. Ranger scrambled, claws tearing grooves, body pressed against them both like a brace. The house tilted half a foot, then steadied, rocking in the surge. The soldier's breath heaved, but he forced calm. Still here. Still standing. Then Ranger froze. His head snapped down toward the flood, ears locked, body rigid. His growl rolled like distant thunder. The soldier followed his gaze. And there it was. The pale face. Directly below them now, just under the surface, rising with each surge. It floated beside the house, eyes fixed upward, mouth slack. It didn't drift away. It didn't drown. It just stayed. The soldier's jaw clenched. He raised the flare, casting full light onto the water. The face glowed eerie red, slick, featureless except for the hollow eyes. He hissed through teeth. "Not tonight." Ranger barked, exploding into a frenzy, teeth snapping at the flood like he could bite through it. The sound was defiant, primal, shaking the night. Lily stirred, tried to lift her head. Her gaze wavered toward the water. "Who's waiting?" The soldier pulled her face into his chest, shielding her. "Nobody. Just noise. Focus on me." The roof shifted again, groaning louder. Shingles slid, vanishing into black water. The soldier's boots skidded. He hooked his arm through a vent pipe, anchoring them all. He looked up, eyes searching the storm. No helicopters yet. No spotlight. Just endless rain. His throat tightened. He forced his voice steady, even calm. We hold here. Rescue sees the flare, they come. That's the plan. Below, the pale face lingered, closer than ever. The water licked higher against the siding, lifting debris into violent spins. And through the storm's howl, he swore he heard it. A voice. Thin. Wet. Coming from the water itself. Don't let me in. His chest froze. He clutched Lily tighter, eyes locked on the flood. Ranger roared again, barking so hard his throat shredded, refusing to let the sound take root. The soldier's whisper cut against the storm. Not a chance. But the water kept climbing. And the face did not leave. The soldier felt it before he heard it. A slow, sickening shift beneath the roof beams. The vibration rolled through his boots, through the ridge he clutched, through Lily's trembling weight in his arms. Then the sound came, timbers ripping, nails screaming loose, concrete tearing from soil. The house broke free. The roof lurched sideways. He slammed his arm tighter through the vent pipe, muscles straining to hold Lily and himself. Ranger dug claws deep, body slammed low against shingles, snarling at the storm as if it were an enemy to fight. Hold on, the soldier barked, his voice raw over the rain. The house tilted, steadied, then drifted. The world shifted around them, streetlights receding, cars spinning past like toys. They were no longer standing on a house. They were riding a raft built of walls and memory. Lily whimpered, head pressing against his chest. Falling? No, he growled, forcing calm. We're floating. And we're not letting go. Ranger barked, sharp, warning. His nose jerked toward the flood beside them. The soldier followed his gaze. His stomach dropped. The pale face was still there. It moved with them, locked in the same current, always the same distance from the drifting house. Its empty eyes never broke from the roofline. Every surge lifted it closer, water sheeting over its features, but it never spun or sank. It just followed. The soldier's breath hissed out. Why won't you leave? He raised his rifle, sighting down the scope. The rain blurred the lens, but the face didn't flinch. It hovered, patient. Back off, he muttered, finger brushing trigger. But again, he held. A shot meant glass shards, compromised footing, maybe panic for Lily. He couldn't waste the risk. Instead, he yanked another flare, cracked it alive, and hurled it downstream. Red fire sputtered across the flood, trailing smoke. He prayed it would mark them for rescue. The face drifted closer, as if curious about the flare, then angled back toward them. Ranger erupted, barking until his voice shredded, foam at his jaws. He lunged at the edge, nearly sliding off shingles, only to be yanked back by the soldier's grip on his harness. Easy, boy, the soldier snapped. Not like this. The house groaned again, tilting as it scraped another structure. A collapsed shed slammed into one corner, spinning them half around. Water exploded over the roof edge, drenching them all. Lily stirred faintly, lips cracking. Don't, let me go. The soldier crushed her tighter. Not now. Not ever. His jaw ached from the bite of his own teeth. Eyes on me. Just breathe. But even as he said it, he felt the truth clawing at the back of his mind. If the roof rolled, if the house broke apart under them, there would be no grip strong enough, no promise heavy enough. The pale face bobbed nearer, now so close he could make out its slack mouth beneath each wave. It hovered at arm's length, just below the drip line, staring up at him. His skin prickled cold. He whispered into the storm, as much to himself as to it, "You're not taking her." Ranger exploded again, lunging, barking at the water so ferociously the roof rattled with his weight. The soldier anchored him back, heart hammering. And then, faint in the storm's roar, something new. A chop. A rotor. Far off, but growing. The soldier's head snapped upward. Through rain he saw it, light-cutting clouds, a helicopter banking over drowned streets. Rescue! His voice cracked with it. He waved his flare high, shouting until his throat tore. Here! Over here! The pale face dipped under the surface, gone in a boil of water. But his gut twisted, certain it hadn't left. It was waiting. The thump of rotor blades chewed the storm, louder with every pass. The helicopter's searchlights sliced the black sky, skimming rooftops, jittering off flood channels. The soldier waved the flare until sparks burned his glove. Here! Over here! His voice broke raw. The light locked on them. Blinding white swallowed the roof, painting Lily's foil wrap in sharp silver, Ranger's wet coat in fire. Hold, he barked, shoving his arm tighter through the vent pipe. The roof tilted again, spinning as the current pushed it sideways. The chopper banked, rope dangling. A rescue swimmer slid down fast, landing hard on shingles that buckled under weight. 2 survivors, the swimmer yelled through the storm. 3, the soldier snapped. He clamped a hand on Ranger's harness, eyes steel. He goes too. The swimmer didn't argue. He clipped Lily first, wrapping her in a sling. She moaned, whispering against the soldier's chest. Don't let me go. He kissed her damp hair through gritted teeth. Never. You're safe now. He shoved the sling tight, gave a hard nod. Take her. The winch lifted her into the rain, foil blanket whipping. She rose slow, arms limp, head sagging, but alive. The soldier's breath cracked, relief sharp as pain. He turned, clipping Ranger's harness next. The shepherd thrashed once, refusing to leave him, then locked eyes steady. Guard her, the soldier whispered. Don't let her out of your sight. The dog barked once, sharp, as the swimmer signaled lift. Ranger rose into the storm, body spinning slightly, ears pinned back but gaze never breaking from the soldier. The soldier was last. The swimmer strapped him fast, hands squeezing his shoulder. You're clear. They rose together, roof shrinking below, flood writhing black around it. Wind tore at him, rain needled skin. His arms ached, his body was nothing but exhaustion, but he looked down once, one last time. The pale face was there. Floating beside the roof, eyes fixed upward. Still. Waiting. And in the rush of rotor, in the hiss of storm, he heard it, closer than ever. Don't let me in. His chest locked. Then the winch jerked, yanking him skyward. The flood dropped away, roof spinning into darkness, pale face swallowed by rain. The helicopter door slammed behind him. Medics swarmed Lily, wrapping her in dry blankets, pressing oxygen to her mouth. Ranger crouched tight against her side, chest heaving, eyes still blazing. The soldier collapsed against the wall, soaked gear dripping, breath tearing his ribs. He shut his eyes, letting the hum of the rotor drown the storm. But inside, he still heard it. That whisper. Don't let me in.